I'm so excited to be speaking to them about these particular issues. And of course, let me welcome them, and let me start with Jan because he's closest to me. Good evening, Mr. Jan Tromp. How are you doing, sir?
Very good, and yourself? Hi to all the listeners as well.
Thank you very much for coming through, sir. Great stuff. And of course, Marty and Marty, good evening, and how are you doing? You've been a regular as well here, and of course you've been talking to me quite a lot about a whole lot of stuff. It's been so informative. How are you doing, Marty?
I'm fine, thank you, Sifu, and I'm very glad to be here. It's exciting.
Please pull the mic to you so that our listeners can hear you. I hope you've had a great day.
Wonderful, thank you. Very busy, but that's fun.
Yeah, but you're always busy though.
Yes, yes, yes. Keeps us alive and keeps us young.
If you're not busy, you get into trouble, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
The brain goes in overdrive.
Yeah, and then if your mind is idle, you can get into trouble.
Major.
Yeah. Wow, man. So, all right. So tonight there is some really important topics you wanted us to discuss, and you've shared a lot of background with me around it. And I think the first one, just for the benefit of our listeners and those who are watching on YouTube, we wanted to talk about this issue of Halloween. I mean, I know I didn't celebrate it yesterday. I actually forgot about it. I don't know how. But I remember at least about 2 years ago, we were all dressed up with my family, me and the kids. We were Halloweening and went to the Joburg Zoo, and they had such a beautiful setup. I don't know if it's beautiful, but like, you know, that horror setup.
Yes,
with trying to scare us at night and all of that. That was possibly the last time I celebrated Halloween, and I still don't know much about Halloween. Why did you want to talk about the subject?
I think Halloween is a very controversial subject. Many of our people that are very religious are very against it, simply because they don't really have the true facts. It can be used, and apparently is used, for satanic rituals, but that came many years after the origin of Halloween. I personally do not celebrate Halloween, apart from nice pumpkin stuffed with nice meat to have a nice meal, which you would have in any case. I wanted to do the whole toot, with a blood capsule and horns and everything, and Jan wouldn't have that. Because we are Christians, so it is, and there's a lot of stories about that. And I think it's important for our people to realize that those that are screaming satanic, and it's this and it's that and it's scary and that, they've got to lighten up. It can be a fun thing. However, the origin of it is very interesting. It started 3,000 years ago. It was the Druids that used to worship the sun, and they were pagans. Those days everybody were pagans. Christianity didn't happen 3,000 years ago, it happened 2,000 years ago. So everybody that's screaming hoo-ha, it's so against Christ and so against Christianity or religion, their forefathers were pagans too 3,000 years ago. Whether they lived in caves or huts or mud huts or whatever, we all had sacrifices at the time. We all were barefoot and rather rough and primitive, and the world seemed to forget that. Coming back to the Druids, I just want to point out that I come from the French side. I've traced my family back 1,077 years ago.
What?
To 940, yes. The surname is actually Richelieu, which are counts and kings, and the castles were Duplessis. So when we came to South Africa with the Huguenots, this is actually a ring that came with, and so is this cross. And the Huguenots actually fled Europe for religious reasons, because they were Protestants.
They came with that ring and...
Yes.
It's
yes.
been in the family.
Yes, yes. Garnet is the family stone of the Duplessis.
Oh.
Yes, so that is just a little part of history. But going back to the Celtic side, which is major of Britain Isles and also part of France. But remember, that was 3,000 years ago. The mainland in Europe were very certain places were civilized, and they were already Christians in the making. Okay, in the making. Because that was pre-Roman times, etc. So 3,000 years ago, the Druids had erected the Stonehenge, and they walked around and they prayed and they clapped and they had fires and they would sacrifice an ox or a cow or whatever, because it was around the harvest time. That was the beginning, going from summer into winter, or the other way around. And they were very earthy people, believed in Mother Earth, and very simple people, very peaceful people. But they did have sacrifices. To what extent, none of us really know. We weren't there, and there wasn't newspapers or TV or radio then. So everything we hear is hearsay. Okay? Halloween then was... because the Romans then, 1,000 years later, which we're now talking about 2,000 years ago, they were then the start of the Christianity, and they started, they saw that they had to fight the pagans for their belief systems and their taxes, don't forget the taxes, and the Christian faith. So what they did is they decided to make some of the Christian holidays on the same days that the pagans had holidays, like harvest time. So Halloween was changed then to the festival on the 1st of November, which was the harvest festival. It was also the days of the saints and the saints who passed away. So that was a time that the church prayed for the passed away saints and passed away family and people that was important to them at the time. And this carried on until about 1,500 years ago. And slowly but surely, we, the Europeans, Christians, started accepting some of the pagan holidays, like Sunday is actually the sun god's holiday.
Wow.
Sunday is named after the sun. The real Sabbath is Saturday.
Oh.
Coming from the Jewish heritage, which Christianity is part of, and by the way, by being a Christian, you are half Jewish. Because the Old Testament, the first 5 books of the Bible is the exact Torah.
Really?
Yes. I always wanted to read the Torah. I wanted to know what it says. And when I investigated this, the Torah is there in my Bible.
Exactly the same.
Exactly the same. We pray to the same God. So we are, if you're Christian, doesn't matter what color you are, who you are, where in the world you are half Jewish. Whether the Christians want to accept it or not, whether the Jewish wanted to accept it or not. That's who we are. Right. That is as far as the olden days Halloween came from, and how it was adapted to suit the Christians and the popes at the time. So it carried on, and later on it was now accepted as Christian holidays, and it started becoming fun. And the trick and treating, where that came from, is with the Druids, they would put on masks, because Halloween was the night that was the thinnest and the closest between heaven and hell and earth. The veil was very thin, and then the departed souls could interlink with us. And because they were scared of that, they left a little treat for them to eat outside their doors, and they had masks on so that they would think they are also ghosts, so they wouldn't attack them. Remember, we were all very primitive 3,000, 2,000 years
Of course.
ago.
Yeah.
And that's where trick and treat came from. As you said, we will listen to another little story that you can find on YouTube, which is very interesting. In America, Christmas is the biggest religious holiday in America that is celebrated wildly and wide as well. And Halloween, which people don't know here, is the second biggest holiday because it's a religious holiday as well.
Sure.
Okay? It's All Saint Day. All Saint Day.
So-
Old Saints Day. Old saints that passed away day.
Okay.
Yeah.
But the fact that now people see it as a, pagan worship, that, Satanism, I mean...
Now, we've got to stop right there.
Okay.
We've got to separate the pagan belief
Yeah.
and the Satanistic belief.
Okay.
Satanism apparently, I stand to be corrected. I don't know much about Satanism, and I don't want to know too much about it.
Yeah.
But they apparently adopted Halloween for their sacrifices, and that became their holy day. What is happening in Satanism, I do not know, and I don't want to find out. Okay, that's like tempting fate, I would say.
Absolutely.
And I would very strongly advise all our listeners out there not to attempt that, and not to go and look at it or investigate, because you never know what Pandora's box you open.
Yeah. Jan, do you celebrate Halloween?
I do celebrate Halloween. I think Halloween is important in the sense that from a universal energy point of view, there isn't good and bad. There isn't a positive and a negative. And energy needs to be held. The opposite fields of energy needs to be held together. Not in equilibrium, not the one equalizing the other one, but the actual energy fields held together. And in later days, as people became more civilized and as religion started rising, people had the image that God is good and God is positive, and the devil is bad and negative. And there was a separation of the energy fields. And I think Halloween is important to bring out the balance and to create a place where evil can be looked at. I'm not supporting Halloween as a Satanistic ritual, but I am supporting it in a way to bring about to look at the opposites and to look at the other.
Absolutely. All right, man. So if you just tuned in, this is 1912 Online Radio, The Pulse. Thank you very much. Tonight, if you just tuned in for the very first time, it's going to be a very powerful show. We are talking about this issue of Halloween, and we're also going to be doing angel card readings, and we've got two contestants who are standing by, so you're going to check it out live right here on this platform. And then also what you can look forward to at about 7 o'clock, we are going to make sure that we break down this issue called #Black Monday. We know how everybody was going crazy on Monday. I mean, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, you name it. People were losing their minds over the march that was being done by the farmers, and of course so many things came out of it. So we want to find out, why do we hate each other so much? Why do we hate each other? Why do we hate each other because of our skin color? So we'll be talking about that between 7 and 8 o'clock. So stick around for that. My guests have got so much stuff to share with us. So please do stick around and learn. And for now, there is a clip that you've sent me, Marty, about the history of Halloween.
Yes.
And I think what we're going to do is we're going to listen to about 5 minutes of it, discuss it a little bit, and then we do the readings.
Wonderful.
Would that be good?
Yes.
All right. It is a spiritual Wednesday, and this is what we do every Wednesday. We bring healers from all different walks of life to come and talk to us about whatever issues that we have in the country, and we discuss them. And of course, we do live readings, we throw the bones, we do all sorts of different stuff on a Wednesday, and we bring pastors, we do all that kind of stuff right here on this show on 1912 Online Radio. So let's take a listen to this video, and then when we come back, we'll do we'll do the live reading, and you can look forward to that. So big up and shout out to all of you who are listening to us through our platforms and on Facebook, Facebook Live, Twitter, Instagram, as well as YouTube. Thank you very much for tuning in. We know it costs you money, but you do it anyway. Let's do this.
Just like the mask children wear every October 31st.
All right, we can sign off there.
Many different
Yeah,
phases. It's
you can
3,000 years history.
yeah, and then we'll play another one.
The Halloween shows
Okay,
that
how you doing?
I'm good. How
Are
you
you
doing?
No.
No?
She does look like that. She looks
These
like
are
she
very
could be
strong. These are very strong ones.
Oh. Oh, wow.
Thank you very much for the comment, my brother. You wanted to respond to it, Mark?
Yes, I want to make a very short comment, but I think a very strong one. I would like to ask everybody, the whole South Africa, all South Africans, when you have a point of view that is annoying or hurtful, like the old flag, for instance, do not say the white people missed the point. Say that some white people missed the point. Don't generalize and say all white people, because I know for a fact that the intention was good. We all saw those farmers on their knees praying. Some of the black people were praying with them. And we found out that the black means it's the funeral colors. If we don't start with respecting each other, caring for each other, doesn't matter where the murders take place. And these people that made the comments of white farmers are killed, but nothing is said about the black people that are killed. Yes, these people who killed black people went to the court. But how many black people were killed? The lady very disrespectfully said, it's one boertjie, one little boertjie. She carried on with that. What would she have said if it was her son, one little son, her son, just her little one son? How would she have felt? So I think...
Or a white person having sent a message saying one little kafarki.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So we have to, and that word, like I said, you should have a major fine. I am so against calling each other names.
Then we would have been fined already.
Yes, but we are we are
Okay.
quoting people. We are
Okay.
quoting people.
Yeah.
We're not calling. We don't. This is not our everyday speak.
No.
So I think people will have to start respecting each other. And before you talk, think: am I generalizing and say all the black people?
Yes.
Am I saying all the colored people? Am I saying all the Indians or all the whites? The minority out of a group did something that people didn't agree with on Monday. But the majority, the intention was good. It was so peaceful. They came through in numbers. This protesting, like you said, is not natural for white people. We are only learning to do this now. We are taking examples. So give us credit for trying to air our views as well. See the good in it. See what they're trying to convey. And then us three here that is trying to reach the nation, trying to heal it. Let's try and do that positively. And I think of everybody that called in, this last caller was the most positive. That said, yes, they had a good cause, but the white people missed the point. So I agree with you that some missed the point. But like we said before, anyone who's got a criminal intent may stand out, and the pictures, the photographers will catch that and highlight that, just like some of the political people catch something and highlight that. How many farmers have put a young boy, into a coffin? As far as I'm concerned, maybe I stand to be corrected. There was only 2, isn't it?
The latest case where the guy, there was one guy that, 2 people that now got about 15 years life sentence.
They deserve that.
Yeah.
But how many times have we had that?
Yeah.
I've heard of people, black people, being very, very badly beaten. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with farmers who say racist things. But I don't say that all farmers are like that. The majority of the farmers made it very clear that they come from a point of peace, take our hand, see our tears, our people are being killed. We cannot live on our farms in peace and produce food. That woman whose young husband was killed, did these people see her crying, falling on that coffin? Where's the compassion? I saw that black lady when her son was killed. I had compassion for her. So let South Africa learn compassion. Let us learn tolerance. Let us understand that nobody is perfect. I'm sitting here today. I'm talking from my heart. You may think I'm wrong. You may think I'm silly. You may think I am whatever you want to think. But at least I've got the guts to sit here and try and make peace and try and find a way for us to talk. The 3 of us are pioneers. We are opening discussions amongst our people. Let's get feedback, but let's get feedback respectfully.
Absolutely. All right, thank you very much for that response. And I've got one more last voice note, and this one has nothing to do with our topic at hand, but it has to do with a topic we had an hour before. And let's take a listen to this one.
Hi Marty, this is Renee Masijo. I'm watching you guys on Facebook Live, and I'm wondering if you could do my reading even though I'm not in studio. Thank you.
Hello. Yes, I can do that, but I prefer you. It's late. We're tired. You can't do readings when you're tired. I prefer if you call me. My name is Marty du Plessis, M-A-R-T-Y du Plessis. Google me and you will find my number. Phone me and I will help you with the greatest of pleasure. Yes, I do telephonic work because with the moment I have your energy, I've got you. Okay? Just like you've got me. That's why you called in. So yeah, I can help you.
Thank you very much. I don't know, any parting words from your side, Jan, before I want to close off with a comment from Dr. Desmond Tutu. And of course, we have to go to our elders and of course for them to help us make sense of this terrible situation we see ourselves in, where we have so much hate in our country. And of course, if we remember, together with him and Nelson Mandela and other leaders of that time, they joined hands and they said, you know what, we don't want bloodbath in this country. We will stand together in the name of the Lord. And they brought all religious groups together. They prayed together. They made sure that they bring peace to the South Africa we have today. And Lord behold, 25 years later, and we are now at a point where we're thinking that there's a possible bloodshed that could come to our country. And I mean, it's worrying. especially when we have small children that we need to take care of. And I'm going to close off for this. And any last words from your side, Jan? And yeah, before we close off with Montutu.
Thank you very much for that. I'd like to call on all of us to stand together, hold hands, and pray in God's name to give us peace so that we can trust each other and we can work and find a new way forward. Thank you.
All right, so from your side, Marty?
Yes, I would like us all to put the past behind and not have a tit-for-tat attitude, as in feel what it feels like. I want us to go to God and say, God, forgive us. All of us are guilty. Whoever you are, where you're sitting now, where you're lying in the bed listening to us, you also have something that you've done wrong and contributed to this hatred. So have I. None of us are perfect. We're all sinners. So please, let's forgive each other and move forward for our children's sake, for our sake. I'm an old person. I'm on retirement. I would like to spend my life in peace and harmony. I would like to walk in a botanic garden, hoping that I won't be raped or mugged or hurt. And so does each and every one of us. I think of the grannies whose pensions are taken away from them. That's all they have. I think of our people that are being hurt, and whichever way it is, God, please help us. Please help us.
Absolutely. Very powerful indeed. And we can only look to the higher powers and to get some spiritual guidance in because if we use our own human level understanding, I mean, wars have happened because of men hitting ourselves as men. If women were leading, we probably wouldn't have as much wars or any threats of wars that we now have. And of course, we need to look beyond. And I think maybe our egos also have a lot to do with it as well. So we need to look to a higher being to try and help us make sense of a South Africa that we want to see our kids grow up in. I mean, I still have a long way to go, man, and I want to see myself retiring and my kids giving us grandkids and you know, in a peaceful South Africa, and just having lots and lots of children around me, like Dr. Nelson Mandela. Just play with all children of all races. It doesn't matter what color skin you are. And of course, and also, I mean, I speak my mind, and many of you know, man, and I am no racist. I hate racists, and I hate anybody that hates anybody because of their skin color. And I'm not gonna keep quiet. If you are racist and you say hurtful, racist things to anybody, doesn't matter whether you Brayaka or you are a whatever. If you are racist and you are hurtful to another human being, I will speak up and stand up for that human being and say that what you are doing is wrong. It's not built. Who I'm praying and hoping that God spares his life for many years, and I know he's been sick quite lately, but I love this old man because he has a lot of wise words to share with us. And before I play him, Marty, where can people get a hold of you?
Spiritualguidance.co.za. My number is 084 720 3404. I operate from Cresta Shopping Centre, so you make an appointment with me. We meet at Nino's restaurant, and I can do a reading for you or a consultation. My consultations is only 400 Rand an hour, and for that is the best investment you'll ever make. You will get insight and understanding. And I love God.
Thank you.
And I hope we all do. And I hope and I believe he's going to help us.
Absolutely. All right, so we've gone a little bit over time, and we're signing off. This has been another powerful spiritual Wednesday. And big ups to Vuyo, big ups to my boy Lucky right here for doing live reading right now. on this platform, and it's never been done on any other radio show, man. We're the first, and we're gonna keep continuing serving and serving our communities. Let's take a listen to Dr. Desmond Tutu as he helps us. He talks about hope in troubled times.
What I already know.